Good evening, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and we are continuing with our topic, and we were looking at install security systems, and in this topic we are continuing from where we left. The topic was marking out security system zones. We had done the introductory part, so we had looked at so we started with the topic. That's the topic expectations, and we looked at steps to mark out security system zones, and we went further to the advantages of marking out security zones and disadvantages of marking out security zones. And today I want us to continue and look at terms associated with the marking out security system zones. We look at terms associated with the marking out security system zones. And we have term number one, we have the term zoning. We have the term zoning. And zoning simply refers to the practice of dividing a security system into distinct or manageable areas or zones. Each zones can be monitored or controlled independently, and this allows the user to have a tailored security measures based on specific needs and circumstances. So you find that this is whereby if you have a given portion of area and you want to monitor the area through the security systems, you'll have to employ something we call zoning, and this is simply subdividing that given area into small manageable zones, whereby each specific zone desires to have specific security features, and now with the zoning it becomes easy to install and also to monitor each zone independently. So we have now this allows for a more flexible security system measures, enabling the user to protect specific areas while leaving other areas accessible. So we have the key features of zoning, which includes it offers independent control. That means each zone can be armed or disarmed separately, enabling flexibility in managing security based on occupants or activity levels in different areas. Then it enables customization of security system. Zoning allows for creation of various zone types, e.g. you can have the entry or the exit zone, the interior zones, or the perimeter zones that suits a unique characteristic and security requirements of each area. 3, it enhances monitoring. That means by defining zones, users can pinpoint the exact location of an alarm in an event of an alarm, e.g. the alarm may be caused by motion, or a door or a window has been forcefully opened. Now this facilitates a quicker response to security instances. So this one means if you have zones, you can be able to pinpoint areas, the exact location where an incident has occurred, and this incident may either be breaching the security or not breaching the security. So you are able now to tell, is that incident breaching the security or is it not breaching the security? And with that, you are able now to give a quick response, or you offer the necessary attention as quick as possible. Then the other feature is there's reduced false alarm. The user can be able to bypass specific zones where necessary. And these zones, which may be bypassed, is an area whereby you're doing pet keeping, or you can also bypass in case you want to do some maintenance. So this is bypassing simply minimizes the risk of false alarm while keeping other areas secure. There is improved management of the security system. Zoning simplifies the monitoring process, allowing for more efficient management of a security resource and response. Then we have the second term is zone, the zone type, and this simply means it is the categorization of specific zones according to their specific function or their sensitivity. Or you can also categorize depending on the purpose you have designated that zone to be performing. It can be the entry or the exit. It can be the entry or the exit. These are areas designated to have a delay alarm that allows users to enter or exit without a false alarm. We have the interior zones, and simply these are zones that are being monitored, and they are typically inside specific rooms or inside a specific premises of interest. Then we have the perimeter zones, areas surrounding the property such as a door, a window, and with these areas they can be able to trigger an immediate alarm when there is breaching of security system. So the purpose of having a zone type is to differentiate different types of zones that helps to customize security approach based on the area's function and the risk level. Then the other term is zone bypass, and this feature allows specific zone to be temporarily excluded from the security system while it remains armed. So bypassing simply means as long as the security system is active and functioning, you can exclude some specific zones without affecting the other zones. So that means a specific zone security system can be switched off to allow for maintenance either, or to allow for the movement of pets, or again it can be an offloading area. So you can bypass the zone through disarming the specific zone while you leave the other zone functioning. So the purpose of bypassing is useful when certain areas need to be accessible without disarming the entire system. E.g., it can be an area whereby you have pets, or you may be doing this for the purpose of maintenance. Then we have the zone alarm, and this one simply refers to an alarm is triggered by an event in a specific zone, such as motion detection, door or a window opening. So once a door or a window is opened, you may have a security system whereby it is able to alert you and tell you a specific door, maybe in terms of a number or in terms of the rooms, has been opened. So zone alarm helps to pinpoint the exact location of a security breach, allowing for a quicker response. Then we have the zone monitoring, and this is the process of continuously observing the status of each zone within a security system. So that process of having a continuous monitoring is what we are referring to as the zone monitoring. And you have to keep in mind that zone monitoring is achieved by the help of security equipments that are being installed in that specific zone. So for example, if we come to maybe the modern agricultural activities, we have some specific components that are able to monitor the soil moisture, the nutrients content in the soil, and they are able to tell through programming if your crops need water. They are also able to tell you at a specific period when your crop need top dressing, and also things to do with the pest. So if we compare that with now what we are referring to as the zone monitoring, it is that process of continuously observing the status. So you keep an eye at a specific state, at a specific zone, to see what is happening, what is going on in that specific zone within that security system. Then the purpose is it offers effective zone monitoring, ensuring that any changes are promptly noted and the responses are also thought about. For example, if someone opens a door, or if a motion is detected in a specific place, you must be very eager to know if that door hasn't been opened, what is it, what activities are they taking place there, or if there is detection of motion, which element or what is trespassing through that specific zone. Then we have the zone status, and this simply refers to the current condition of a zone or the current situation in a specific zone, which can be armed or disarmed in a faulty state. E.g., we may have someone might have tampered with the zone, or the security system in that zone may be malfunctioning. So with the correct view of the zone status, it helps you now to determine whether the zone should remain armed, whether the zone should be disarmed immediately, or is there any faulty condition in a specific zone within a specific security system component. Are the component functioning as expected? So understanding zone status helps users to manage their security systems effectively and respond to alerts efficiently. Then we have the other term as multiple zone control, and this is a feature that allows the user to manage multiple zones simultaneously, often through a central control panel or by use of a mobile app. So this simply means you may be having several zones, let's say 10 zones within a given area, and each zone has its specific security needs, the specific security need. So you may have a zone where you have an electric fence, you may have a zone where you have CCTV cameras, you may have a zone where you have the fire alarms. So that means if you combine all those specific zone components into one control system, whereby you have subdivisions, you are able to see what is happening in point A and what is happening in point B and what is happening in point C, all the way up to 10 specific zones. So the purpose is multiple zones control enhances the user conveniences and efficiency, enabling comprehensive security management from a single interface. So single interface here simply means if you're doing your viewing or your controlling panel, there is a computer, and within that computer it has subdivisions. So that simply tells you that each subdivision is a specific security zone, and now you are able to control all that within or using a single interface. Let's say a monitor or a laptop. You are able to combine all those zones, and that ability of combining several zones is what we refer to as the multiple zone control. Then we have the virtual zones, and these are simply software aided zones. So these are zones whereby software are being used. So they are simply refers to software defined zones created within a security system, allowing for more complex configurations without physical barriers. So the purpose of virtual zones is to enhance flexibility and increase scalability in security setup, especially in large or more complex environments. For example, if we talk of an homestead that is built at Kenya, and for example the owner lives in Canada. So if the owner of the home wishes to be viewing what is going on in that home that is in Kenya, it can have a software defined monitoring system whereby it creates virtual zones, and these virtual zones are linked direct to his phone or his computer via the internet system. So he is able to see, while in Canada, he is able to monitor what is happening on ground, that is in Kenya. And this type of configuration saves on time. It also enhances more flexible system, and also it is very efficient as long as there is continuous supply of internet. Then there is the zone partitioning. This is simply the ability to divide a large zone into smaller manageable sections for more precise control and monitoring. Now within a given zone, you may decide to partition that zone into smaller and manageable sections, but it is under the same zone. So zone partitioning allows for detailed tracking of activities within a larger area, and this improves security response and management. Then we have the alarm verification, a process where alarm system verifies an alarm event before notifying the authorities, often involving checking for a video feed or feed from other specific sensors within that specific zone. The purpose of alarm verification is to help in reducing false alarm and ensures that emergency responders are only alerted for legitimate threats. Then we have the zone status, and I think these are repetition, but we can go through it. So the current condition of a zone, indicating whether it is armed, disarmed, or in a fault state. Help user monitor the security system effectively with effectiveness and readiness. Zone test, the process of verifying the functionality and responsiveness of each zone after installation. So this is to ensure that all zones are properly configured and operational. So zone testing simply refers to, it is that process before commissioning your security works to the client. First, you carry out a functionality test to see if all the components in each and every zones are functioning as expected. Then we have the zone activation, and this is the process of arming or activating a specific zone within a security system. It allows for selective monitoring based on the time of day and the occupancy. So this is a process whereby you activate all the security systems within a specific zone. You make sure that each and every system that requires an activation is activated and it is operating as expected. And that is it to do with the terms associated with the security systems and specific while carrying out the marking exercise for security system zones. So thank you. Remember to share, remember to like, remember to comment, subscribe, and also give your insight views and suggestion where necessary. Feel much welcomed and have a nice evening. Enjoy your week, enjoy your days. Thank you. Thank you.